Good morning. Good morning. How you doing on this awesome Tuesday morning? Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to give everyone just a few more seconds to join on in, but I thank you so much for joining early this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Quick Word Tuesday. It is an awesome Tuesday to be alive, to be well, and to just be able to just get up with a reasonable portion of health and strength. I am so glad that God called my name and that he called your name for you to be able to live, to be able to see such a wonderful and glorious day. Hey, if you can just do me a favor and just share and tag and share and let somebody know that I am on, I will greatly appreciate it. We got a word, we got a quick word to be able to give to you, and I pray that it brings you life. On this morning, for the people that don't know, I am Pastor Deidre Samuel McLeod. I am the awesome pastor of Divine Destiny Ministries. It is the place that you can be different in order to make a difference. And I'm telling you, if you're not a part of Divine Destiny Ministries, you're missing a treat. I'm telling you, we have some of the most anointed, baddest people in the kingdom there is that go to Divine Destiny Ministries. And guess what? I get to pastor all of them. And I'm telling you, God is doing such an amazing work at our ministry. On today, I just want to share a quick word with you called How Do You See It? How do you see it? Um on this morning, I'm telling you, if you got time, I want you to go ahead and log it in into your alarm clock for this coming Sunday. God already gave me a word for Sunday morning. Normally, God keep me up all night long on Saturdays and have me up studying and reading and laying before the Lord. Good morning. But I'm telling you, while we were on vacation, God already started talking to me and giving me a word. I'm telling you, I'm so ready for Sunday morning to show up. And I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. But how do you see it? The Lord started dealing with me about but sometimes that we view things the wrong way. um I started looking at Elijah. Elijah is one of my favorite prophets there is in the Bible. And God started dealing with me about Elijah. Elijah stood on Mount Carmel, and he declared a word. He stood 10 toes down off of what God gave him. Good morning. And he stood 10 toes down off of knowing that I serve the risen king. I serve the redeemer. I serve King, capital K, of lowercase king. I serve the capital L Lord over the lowercase l Lord. He knew exactly who he was and whose he was when he stood up amongst the false prophets. He stood 10 toes down off of it. He didn't waver. He didn't go back and forth and say, well, God, did you give me the word? God, is it really you? He didn't go back and forth. He stood off of it and he gave the word. And he watched how all of those false prophets went down off of standing off of what he believed. Now there was a woman called Jezebel. There was a woman called Jezebel, and I want to help the church because I'm telling you, we have misrepresented Jezebel. We have made Jezebel only to look like she was just a woman that walked around with red lipstick and earrings in her ear, and her hair was done and with tight clothes on. Now Jezebel was a whole kind of beast. But we ain't really ready to deal with Jezebel. We're fine with the church only talking about Jezebel because she's pretty. But listen here, there's a whole lot of pretty people that's in the kingdom that I'm telling you now that I'm not afraid of. They just pretty, but they ain't got nothing going on. They don't really know who they are or whose they are. They just walking around, just showing up pretty. They got their hat cocked over to the side, and listen, they ain't showing up with no power. But see, Elijah was anointed. He was powerful. I'm telling you, he was able to pray a prayer and watch no rain fall. He was able to pray another prayer and watch the rain to begin to start showing up. He was able to go forth and declare miracles. I'm telling you, he was a bad man. He was bad. He was anointed. But yet he feared this woman. This one woman allowed him to hide in a cave and make him afraid of going forth to do the very thing that he was called forth to do. The Lord was saying, how do you see it? How do you see it? Because I started walking, and as I was walking, I was decreeing and declaring while we was walking in the streets in Miami. I started talking to God, and I started saying, God, there were things that I was supposed to see by now. There was things that I was supposed to be doing by now. God, why am I not able to do it? Because God said, how you see it. It's how you see what has kept you in captivity. How you see it is what kept you in caves. How you see it was kept you running back and forth and allowed you to walk in a place of fear because you viewing off of one person, because one person spoke something over your life. One person said that you would never amount to anything. One person mishandled you. One person started saying, I ain't going to promote your business. I'm not going to promote your church. I'm not going to promote whatever you're speaking. You allow one person to leave you in captivity when, before you were standing against all the other people and you was knowing who you are and whose you are. So God said, how do you see it? It's only because we haven't seen the thing how God declared for us to be able to see it. We started looking at it in the eyes of them, because they said that you ain't good enough. They said that you're not qualified. They said that your business will never grow. They said that your church will never grow. They said. And the people, you know, when I was growing up, the bullies only stood up more when they knew that you was afraid of them. And so the bullies, they stood up and they handled you any kind of way because they already knew that you wouldn't fight back. They already knew that you wouldn't talk back. They already knew that you was going to run and hide in the cave. They already knew that they can make you they can make you run. They can speak one word and that you will be afraid. But the people that you thought that you can handle, I said, so God, what are you saying? Elijah already knew that he could handle the folk. He already knew that he can handle the ones that he stood up on Mount Carmel with. He already knew the power that lied on the inside of him. He wasn't afraid of them. He stood 10 toes down. How are we standing 10 toes down against babies in the kingdom? We standing 10 toes down off of them because we already know that we can beat them. But somebody that make you question that whether I really got power, I'm running from them. The people that really make us question, am I really anointed? The people that have made us question, am I really called? Am I really a prophet? Am I really a prophetess? Am I really chosen for such a time as this? They got us running in caves because how we see it. How we see it. God said, it's not that I didn't call you. It's not that I didn't choose you. You allowed them to bully you in the kingdom because how you see it. My mom and dad always told me, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. We have given more power to our Jezebels, and that's how come they're feeling like they can mishandle you. They can mishandle you. And so you showing up and you're not giving your all. Uh, you're watering yourself down. You're making yourself look like you don't have no power, that you don't have no authority when it comes to Jezebels, because they made such a big name for themselves in the kingdom. And people that you look at that I remember when I first got it started, I used to preach on a lot of platform services. People would call me, and I remember there were times that people would size me up and they would look at me and think that I had no power because I would show up with my hair done like I am now. I would have my lip gloss on. I would have my earrings on. During that time, I loved my fishnets. It went with my outfits, and I wore my heels. And so people that looked like they were holy, they began to look at me and kind of turn their nose up at me, and like they knew that they was about to knock it out of the park because they looked at me as if I had no power. But it was only how they saw it. So when God got me up to the podium and God began to speak through me and God began to use me, they started looking at me differently because now the vision of how they viewed me now was changed because all I had to do was open my mouth and God began to speak. And so God is saying right now that we begin to water ourselves down, and because our name is not up in lights, and because everybody don't know who Prophetess Deidre Samuel McLeod is, we begin to water ourselves down when we get on stages with people that look like they got more weight. But my name is not big like Black Bishop Jakes. My name is not big like Prophetess Juanita Bynum or Pastor Creflo Dollar. And so we begin to water ourselves down because how we view it, how we see it. We don't see ourselves with power. We see ourselves as if we're small. And so when we show up, we don't give it all that we got because we're looking like we're small. We're looking like pinions in their eyesight. And so we begin to water ourselves down. And so it was easy for Elijah to stand upon Mount Carmel and say, nah, I'm going to give it all that I got because, see, they're smaller than me. They ain't got no power. I know I got power. But now I'm looking at Jezebel. She didn't kill some folk. She whatever she speak, I'm telling you, she stands on it. And so now it got me afraid. It got me afraid. And so now I handle myself different when I look like I got to really fight somebody in the kingdom because they look like their power matches mine. God was saying to me, you've watered yourself down long enough. There's going to always be Jezebels on no matter what platform that you show up on. I remember when I started teaching at the school, I'm the type of person, I kind of sit back and I watch how you do things. And then I show up. I'll watch for a while. There were other instructors that came, they just jumped right in. They took the shears, they took the comb, they came in. And my method was a little bit different. I'll be a little laid back. And I'm kind of like that even in the church. I'll come in and I'll be a little laid back. Not cocky at all. I promise you. Oh God, I lay back, I sit back and I watch how people operate. I see what you do because I'm very observing. And I walk heavy in discernment. I watch how people move and how people operate. Yes. And so God was saying, now you did that strategy. Now I need for you now to show up. God was saying to me, while I was gone, you laid back long enough. I need for you now to show up. You've hid in caves long enough. And so it was basically God had to say to me, where you at? God said this to Elijah. Elijah was one of the baddest prophets there is in the Bible. I'm telling you, I love that man. He bad to the bone. Speak it, call it, and it began to happen. Bad to the bone. He was so bad that his protege that was falling behind him said, I want a double portion of what he got. That's how bad he was. But God was saying that you laid back long enough. Now where are you? How you see yourself is why you haven't been showing up like I really called you to be. Don't allow one Jezebel to make you doubt who you are. You've been standing against all those other false prophets by yourself, and I've given you the power and authority to be able to do it. Now I need for you to show up and slay every false prophet. If they can show up and they false, if they can show up with their heads up high, walking like they got it going on, and they false, why you ain't been showing up and you real? How you see it? How you see it? It doesn't matter how they see you. What matters is, do you see me? Or do you see yourself the way I see you? And God is saying, I see you. I see you, daughter. I see you, son. But why are you allowing one Jezebel to talk about you and put you on the run. Do you know how anointed you are? Do you know how powerful you are? Do you really know? Because if you knew, why are you hiding in the caves? Why are you running? Why? Why they got you on the run? I thought I wasn't running. I thought I was facing demons head on. God said that there are too many demons that I call you to slay. And you allowing them to get away with murder because of how they see you. So how do you see yourself? How do you see them? Do you think that they're prospering because they on flyers all over the place? Because they get more opportunities to preach than you? Do you think they're more anointed than you because their honorarium is higher? How do you see you? When you start seeing yourself properly, he said more doors will open up for you. I jumped on after I got off Marriage Matters with some of my awesome, awesome ministers at my church. Minister Bianca James and Deacon CJ James. And I got on a live of one of my fellow ministers in the kingdom, pastors in the kingdom. And he started prophesying to me and confirmed some stuff that I was going back and forth with God just this past weekend while I was on vacation. He didn't even know that he was confirming the stuff, but he was. And he said, he was saying that it's time to move. And I knew that I was hearing God. I knew that God was speaking, but I drug my feet on some stuff because of how people saw me. And I started allowing their views of me to make me look at me a little bit different. How can I be so anointed and powerful, God? And it seemed like all the wicked people, all the evil people, all the nasty, nasty people in the kingdom, they're getting so many more opportunities than me. And then I heard a pastor say, sometimes it almost feel like you got to be wicked and do a scandal in order to be seen. And God said, no, how you see you. Let them continue to grow as they think that they're doing. Because their eyesight of growth is because they're constantly being on flyers and going every place. But that's actually swelling. They're swelling and you're growing. Swelling happens immediately. Minister Bree fell and had a bad sprain on her ankle. She talked about it last night, how immediately the swelling came. So big swelling. Because it doesn't take long for people that not doing right to fall and swell, because swelling looks like growth. It takes people that's really growing healthy, growing properly, time, time. So it looks like you're not growing because they're swelling and you're growing. It's only how you see it. So I want to say to you today, you're doing a phenomenal job. A phenomenal job. You're growing. And why you're growing? Because it takes time. I'd rather grow than swell. They're swelling. Eventually, they will fall. You are growing and you will be exactly where God has called and positioned for you to be. God is going to do it. I'm telling you. I wish today, I wish today was Saturday night that we were preparing to go in for Sunday, because there is a word from the Lord. Don't miss it. Join us Sunday morning, every Sunday morning, intercessory prayer at 7:30 a.m. 8 a.m. we go forth in the word of God. I'm telling you, it looks like it's taken us a while to grow. It's because we're growing healthy. They're swelling. That's why they probably growing or look like they're growing so fast. It's infection. It's infection. There's no infection here. We're growing, not swelling. Have an awesome and wonderful day. And to God be all of the glory. Share and tag and share. I'm telling you, God is up to something amazing. Don't miss the moment. Don't miss the moment. Join us. Be a part. I love you guys. Yes, I love you guys. I'm telling you, if you have been blessed, don't hesitate to send us some stars. Send us, send us a donation to our ministry. I'm telling you, God is up to doing something phenomenal in our ministry. And I'm telling you, I can't wait. Whether whether it's $5, $2, I don't care what it is. Sow a seed in the ground. You don't want the harvest to come and you don't have anything planted. How you gonna be able to see the harvest? Because you got seed in the ground. I love you all. Have an awesome and wonderful day. And to God be all of the glory.